Hello everyone, welcome to Unacademy, India's largest learning platform. So friends, in today's marathon session, we will continue with the fundamentals of physical geography. Yes, now in earlier session we have discussed the topics in class 11th NCERT like geography as a discipline. Then we have discussed the unit Earth, where we have covered the origin and evolution of the Earth, interior of the Earth, distribution of oceans and continents. Then we have discussed about minerals and rocks, geomorphic processes, and now in today's session we will continue with the remaining topics from unit landforms, and headings is landforms and their evolution. Now friends, in this landforms and their evolution, we have discussed like after the weathering processes have had their actions on the earth materials making up the surface of the earth, then the geomorphic agents like running water, groundwater, wind, glaciers, and waves which perform erosion. So already we have discussed that erosion causes changes on the surface of the earth. Yes, erosion, which is causes changes on the surface of the earth, then deposition follows, erosion, and because of deposition to changes occur on the surface of the earth. Now let's discuss about the Meanders. Yes, Chandramani, already we have started the topic. So, in erosional landforms, now we will discuss from the Meanders. Now friends, in large flood delta plains, rivers rarely flow in straight courses. See, due to the obstacles or the formation of the surface, there is loop-like channel patterns which is Yes, loop-like channel patterns, which called the Meanders. Now friends, see the figure. We're showing the meandering in Buri Gandak river near Muzaffarpur, Bihar, showing a number of oxbow lakes and cutoffs. This is a satellite scene. Yes, good afternoon everyone. Now friends, basically meander is not a landform. Yes, meander is not landform, but is only type of channel pattern. Yes, this is because of propensity of water flowing over very gentle gradients to work laterally on the banks. Yes, so propensity of water which flowing over very gentle gradients to work laterally on the banks, then unconsolidated nature of alluvial deposits making up the banks with many irregularities which can be used by water exerting pressure laterally. Then Coriolis force which acting on the fluid water which deflecting it like it deflects the wind. See in the picture, the Meanders. Now, when the gradient of the channel which becomes extremely low, so water flows leisurely and starts working laterally. Slight irregularities along the banks which slowly get transformed into small curvature in the banks. Now friends, the curvature which deepens due to, yes, the curvature deepens due to deposition on the inside of the curve and erosion along the bank on the outside. So if there is no deposition and no erosion or undercutting, the tendency to meander is reduced. Now normally in meanders of large rivers there is active deposition along the concave bank. Yes, see, this is and undercutting along the convex bank. Yes. So the concave bank is known as concave bank, which is known as cutoff bank, which shows up a steep sharp scrap and convex bank presents a long gentle profile. Now, as the meanders grow into deep loops, and the same may get cut off due to erosion at the inflection points and are as oxbow lake. See, the meander growth and cut off loops and slip off, and there are undercut banks. So this is all about the meanders. Now friends, next we will see the groundwater yes, in depositional landforms. We have studied about deltas, food plains, natural levees and point bars. Then meanders we have discussed. Now let's discuss about groundwater. So now, in this section, when we are talking about the groundwater, as our focus is on the work of groundwater in the erosion of land masses and evolution of landforms. Now, before discussing further in detail, dear friends, it's my pleasure to welcome you all on Unacademy, India's largest learning platform. It's me, Rushikesh Inamdar, guiding UPSC aspirants from last 8 years. So friends, do not forget to follow me on Unacademy app. The link is provided in the description box. Just open the Unacademy app, go through the search bar, find out my name and follow my profile. And also friends, you can join our Telegram group to get important updates related civil services preparation. Now friends, we are providing huge discount on UPSC CSE subscriptions. So from 13 September to 17 September, there is special prize week. Now friends, on 19th September morning 11 a.m. there will be mega combat. Now friends, this UPSC mega combat, which will help you to evaluate your preparation. So on 19th September morning 11 a.m. do not forget to use invite code RBI Live to register for the combat. Link is provided in the description box. Unacademy is providing iconic and plus paid subscription on our platform. In plus subscription, you will get live classes, structured courses, unlimited access for live and recorded classes, weekly tests. Now, those aspirants planning to start their preparation after their 12th examination or during their graduation, they must go with iconic subscription. In iconic subscription, you will get all the features of plus course along with additional features like personal guidance, study planner, study material, experts guidelines and test analysis. You can also avail 10% discount using referral code RBI Life, where for the 1 year of plus subscription you have to pay 44,550 rupees, whereas for the 1 year of iconic subscription you have to pay 67,050 rupees. So do not forget to use referral code RBI Life on our paid courses and also optional subscription to get 10% discount. Yes, I hope already you have downloaded the Unacademy app. Now friends, just go through that app, search my profile, press follow button and get the notification related to our free special classes. Yes, now friends, these free special classes which will help you to gear up your preparation. Now friends, these are the interactive live classes. You can ask your doubts to our educators through live chat. After this session, you will get lecture notes in PDF form. And the benefit of these free special classes, you can watch these classes as per your convenience. Now, friends, there are recorded and live special classes. So as per your convenience, you can join these classes. Now, let's start with the continuation of the topic from groundwater. Now friends, here the interest is not on groundwater as a resource. So our focus is on the work of groundwater in the erosion of land masses and evolution of landforms. So basically the surface water percolates well when the rocks are permeable. Now friends, the basically the surface water percolates when the rocks are permeable, then thinly bedded and highly jointed and cracked. Now, after vertically going down to some depth, the water under the ground, which flows horizontally through the bedding planes, joints, or through the materials themselves. Now, it is this downward and horizontal movement of water which causes the rock to erode. Yes. Hi Ram Kumar. In today's session we are discussing about the fundamentals of physical geography. Now dear friends, the physical or mechanical removal of materials by moving groundwater is insignificant in developing landforms. That is why the results of the work of groundwater cannot be seen in all types of rocks. But in rocks like limestones or dolomites, which rich in calcium carbonate, the surface water as well as groundwater through the chemical process of solution and precipitation deposition develop varieties of landforms. These two processes of solution and precipitation are active in limestones or dolomites, which occurring either exclusively or interbedded with other rocks. Now, yes, limestones and dolomites which rich in calcium carbonate, where the surface water as well as groundwater through the chemical process of solution and precipitation deposition develop varieties of landforms. Now friends, so there is these two processes of solution and precipitation are active in limestones or dolomite, which either exclusively or interbedded with other rocks. So any limestone or dolomite region showing typical landforms which produced by the action of groundwater through the processes of solution and deposition is called karst topography. So after the typical topography developed in limestone rocks of karst region in the Balkans, which is adjacent to the Adriatic Sea. Now, the karst topography is also characterized by erosional and depositional landforms. Now let's discuss about the erosional landforms. Erosional landforms, pools, sinkholes, lapis and limestone pavements. Now, small to medium size, round to sub-round, shallow depressions called swallow holes now. Dear friends, the sub-rounded shallow depressions called swallow holes form on the surface of limestones through solution. Then sinkholes are very common in limestone and karst areas. Now, a sinkhole is an opening more or less circular at the top and funnel shaped towards the bottom. Sinkholes funnel shaped. Yes. So the sinkholes where the opening more or less circular at the top and funnel shaped towards the bottom, with sizes varying in area from few square meter to a hectare, and with depth from a less than half a meter to 30 meters or more. So some of these form solely through solution action, that is solution sinks, and others might start as solution forms first, and if the bottom of the sinkhole which forms the roof of a void or cave underground. Now it might collapse, leaving a large hole opening into a cave or void. So quite often sinkholes are covered up with soil mantle and appear as shallow water pools. Now anybody stepping over such pools would go down like it happens in quicksands in deserts. So the term doline is sometimes used. Yes, the term doline. The term doline is sometimes used to refer the collapse sinks. Now, the solution sinks are more common than collapse sinks, and quite often the surface which runoff simply goes down shallow and sinkholes and flow as underground streams and re-emerge at a distance downstream through a cave opening. Now so friends, the pool sinkholes, lapis and limestone pavements, where we have discussed about the sinkholes, where a sinkhole is an opening more or less circular at the top and funnel shaped. Towards the bottom, with varying sizes from a few square meter to a hectare. Now see how the size is varying from few square meters to a hectare, and with depth from a less than half a meter to 30 meters or more. So solution sinks, that is, some of these form solely through solution action, and others might start as solution forms first, and if the bottom of a sinkhole forms the roof of a void or cave underground, it might collapse, leaving a large hole opening into a cave or void below, that is collapsing. So here understanding solution sinks and collapsings. So quite often sinkholes are covered up with soil mantle and appear as shallow water pools. So anybody stepping over such pools would go down like it happens in quicksands in deserts. The term doline is sometimes used to refer the collapsings. Now, the surface runoff simply goes down shallow, and sinkholes and flow as underground streams and re-emerge at a distance downstream through a cave opening. When sinkholes and dolines join together because of slumping of materials along their margins or due to roof collapse of caves, now long, narrow to wide trenches called valley sinks or uvalas form. So gradually most of the surface of the limestone is eaten away by these pits and trenches, leaving it extremely irregular with a maze of points, grooves and ridges or lapis. Especially these ridges or lapis, which form due to differential solution actively along parallel to subparallel joints, the lapi field may eventually turn into somewhat smooth limestone pavements. Now, here we will discuss about the caves. Now friends, in areas where there are alternating beds of rocks, like shales, sandstones, quartzite. So there are alternating beds of rocks with limestones or dolomites in between or in areas where limestones are dense, massive, so basically the occurring as thick beds, so cave formation is prominent. Now water percolates down either through the materials or through cracks and joints and moves horizontally along bedding planes. It is along these bedding planes that the limestone dissolves, and long and narrow to wide gaps which called caves. So there can be maze of caves at different elevations depending upon the limestone beds and intervening rocks. Caves normally have an opening through which cave streams are discharged. Now, the caves having opening at both the ends are called tunnels. Caves having openings at both ends are called tunnels. Now see, the caves. Now just recap. So in areas where there are alternating beds of rocks with limestones or dolomites in between, or in areas where limestones are dense, massive and occurring as thick beds, so the cave formation is prominent. Water percolates down either through the materials or through cracks and joints and moves horizontally along bedding planes. It is along these bedding planes that the limestone dissolves, and long and narrow to wide gaps which call caves. So there can be a maze of caves at different elevations depending upon the limestone beds and intervening rocks. Now caves normally have an opening through which cave streams are discharged. So the tunnels where the caves having opening at both the ends. Now see the picture. Stalactites and stalagmites in limestone caves. Now let's discuss about the depositional landforms. Yes, Now friends, many depositional forms develop within the limestone caves. The chief chemical in limestone is calcium carbonate, so many depositional landforms develop within the limestone caves. The chief chemical in limestone is calcium carbonate, which is easily soluble in carbonated water, that is carbon dioxide absorbed rainwater. So this calcium carbonate is deposited when the water carrying in it solution evaporates or loses its carbon dioxide as it trickles over rough rock surfaces, now depositional landforms Now friends, after the depositional landforms, we will discuss about stalactites, stalagmites and pillars, stalactites, stalagmites and pillars. Now the stalactites hang as icicles of different diameters. Normally they are broad at their bases and taper towards the free end, showing a variety of forms. Then stalagmites, which rise up from the floor rise up from the floor of the caves, and in fact stalagmites form due to dripping water from the surface or through the thin pipe. Now, stalactite immediately below it. So, the stalagmites may take the shape of column disc with either smooth rounded bulging end or miniature crater like depression. The stalagmite and stalactites eventually fuse to give rise to columns and pillars of different diameters. See the diagram. So, after the caves, then deposition landforms, let's discuss about the glaciers. Now friends, the masses of ice which moving as sheets over the land or as linear flows down the slopes of mountains in broad trough-like valleys like mountain and valley glaciers. So the linear flows down slope of mountains in broad trough-like valleys are called glaciers. Now see the diagram. So the movement of glacier is slow, unlike water flow. The movement could be a few centimeters to a few meters a day or even less or more. So the glaciers move basically because of the force of gravity. This movement is due to the force of gravity. Now friends, when we are talking about our country, we have many glaciers moving down the slopes and valleys in Himalayas. Higher reaches of Uttaranchal, Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir are places to see some of them. Now, we can see river Bhagirathi is basically fed by melt waters from under the snout of the Gangotri Glacier. In fact, Alkapuri Glacier, which feeds waters to Alaknanda River, so rivers Alaknanda and Bhagirathi, which join to make river Ganga near Devprayag. So friends, the movement of glaciers due to the force of gravity. Now, erosion by glaciers is tremendous because of friction caused by erosion by glaciers is tremendous because of friction caused by sheer weight of the ice. Now, the material plucked from the land by glaciers which get dragged along the floors or sides of the valleys and cause great damage through abrasion and plucking. So glaciers can cause significant damage to even unweathered rocks and can reduce high mountains into low hills and plains. As glaciers continue to move, debris get removed, divides get lowered, and eventually the slope is reduced to such an extent that glaciers will stop moving, leaving only a mass of low hills and vast outwash plains along with other depositional features. Now, in upcoming figures we will see the glacial erosional and depositional forms described in the text. So basically, we will now discuss about the erosional landforms. Erosional landforms first of all we will discuss about cirque. So cirques are the most common landforms in glaciated mountains. The cirques quite often are found at the heads of glacial valleys. The accumulated ice cuts, yes, the accumulated ice cuts, these CQs while moving down the mountain tops. So they are deep, long, and wide troughs. Yes, wide troughs or basins with very steep concave to vertically dropping high walls at its head as well as sides. Now friends, a lake of water can be seen quite often within the CQs after the glacier disappears. So such lakes are called CQ or turn lakes. So there can be two or more circuits, one leading into another, down below in a steeped sequence. Now friends, let's discuss about the horns and serrated ridges. Horns form through headward erosion of the CQ walls. If three or more radiating glaciers cut headward until their circuits meet, high, sharp, pointed and steep-sided peaks called horns form. So the divides between circuit walls or head walls get narrow because of progressive erosion and turn into serrated or saw-toothed ridges, sometimes referred to as artists with very sharp crest and zigzag outline. Now the highest peak in Alps, Matterhorn, and the highest peak in the Himalayas, Everest, are in fact horns which form through headward erosion of radiating cirques. Now friends, understand these two examples of the highest peak in Alps and Himalayas, Matterhorn and Everest respectively, are in fact horn formed through headward erosion of radiating cirques. Now see the diagram. Glacial, erosional and depositional forms. The picture also given in your NCERT, you can check the forms: horn, cirque, arid hanging valley, truncated spur, terminal moraine, outwash plain, medial moraine and lateral moraine. So these cirques are the most common of landforms in glaciated mountains. Quite often are found at the heads of glacial valleys. The accumulated ice cuts these cirques while moving down the mountain tops. Then horn. So horns formed through headward erosion of the cirque walls. The divides between the cirque side walls or head walls, which get narrow because of progressive erosion and turn into serrated or saw-toothed ridges, so sometimes referred to as artists with very sharp crest, this one with very sharp crest and zigzag outline. Now, the glacial valley and trucks. Now friends, glacial valleys are truck-like and U-shaped with broad floors and relatively smooth and steep sides. So the valleys may contain little debris or these debris shaped as moraines with swampy appearance. So there may be lake gouged out of rocky floor or formed by debris within the valleys. Now there can be hanging valleys at an elevation on one or both sides of the main glacial valley. The faces of divides or spurs of such hanging valleys which opening into main glacial valleys, which are quite often truncated to give them an appearance like triangular facets, very deep glacial troughs filled with seawater and making up shorelines are called fjords, or yes, which are called in high latitude fjords. Now friends, let's discuss about the depositional landforms. The unassorted cores and fine debris which dropped by the melting glaciers is called glacial till. The unsorted cores and fine debris which dropped by the melting glaciers is called glacial till. Most of the rock fragments in till are angular to subangular in form yes, angular and subangular in form. So streams formed by melting ice at the bottom now streams formed by melting ice at the bottom sides or lower ends of glaciers. So some amount of rock debris small enough to be carried by such meltwater streams is washed down and deposited. Such glacial deposits are called outwash deposits. So unlike till deposits, the outwash deposits are roughly stratified and assorted. The rock fragments in outwash deposits are somewhat rounded at their edges, yes, see the diagram where we will discuss the recap of all these outwash plain and other terminologies. So depositional landforms commonly found in glaciated areas. Now next is moraines. They are long ridges of deposits of glacial till. So the terminal moraines are long ridges of debris which deposited at the end, that is toe of the glaciers, lateral moraines which form along the sides parallel to the glacial valleys. The lateral moraines may join a terminal moraine forming a horseshoe shaped ridge. So there can be many lateral moraines on either side in a glacial valley. These moraines partly or fully owe their origin to glaciofluvial waters, which pushing up materials to the sides of glaciers. Then many valley glaciers retreating rapidly leave an irregular sheet of till over their valley floors. Now such deposits varying greatly in thickness and in surface topography, which are called ground moraines. The moraine in the center of the glacial valley, which flanked by lateral moraines. Yes, medial moraine. So the moraine in the center of the glacial valley, which flanked by lateral moraines, is called medial moraine. They are imperfectly formed as compared to lateral moraines. So sometimes these medial moraines are indistinguishable from ground moraines. Now, next we will discuss after the moraines, iskers. Yes. Now we will discuss the iskers and then we'll see the diagram in detail. Now friends, when glaciers melt in summer, the water flows on the surface of the ice or seeps down along the margins or even moves through holes in the ice. So these waters accumulate beneath the glacier and flow like streams in a channel beneath the ice. Yes. So the water which flows on the surface of the ice or seeps down along the margins or even moves through holes in the ice. So these waters accumulate beneath the glacier and flow like streams in a channel beneath the ice. So such streams flow. Yes, such streams flow over the ground with ice forming its banks, very coarse materials like boulders and blocks, along with some minor fractions of rock. Yes, yes, the minor fractions of rock debris which carried into this stream settle in the volume of ice beneath the glacier, and after the ice melts can be found as a sinus ridge called yes, the sinus ridge called eskers. Now, after eskers, we will discuss about the outwash plains. Now friends, the plains at the foot of the glacial mountains or beyond the limits of continental ice sheets are covered with glaciofluvial deposits in the form of broad, flat, alluvial fans which may join to form outwash plains of gravel, silt, sand and clay. So, outwash plains Now, after that we will discuss about the drumlins. Now friends, the drumlins are smooth oval shaped reed like features which composed of mainly of glacial till with some masses of gravel and sand. Now the long axis of drumlins are parallel to the direction of ice movement. Now they may measure up to 1 kilometer in length and 30 meter or so in height. So one end of the drumlins which facing the glacial called the stoss end which is blunter and steeper than other end which called tail. Now, so the drum lines measure up to 1 kilometer in length and 30 meter or so in height. So one end of the drum lines facing the glacial, which is called Stoss end, is blunter and steeper than the other end, which is called tell. So the drumlins formed due to dumping of rock. Yes, the drumlins formed due to dumping of rock debris beneath heavily loaded ice through fissures in the glacier. So the Stoss end gets blunted due to pushing by moving ice. Now drumlins give an indication of direction of glacial movement. Now see waves and currents. Now, waves and currents. Before that, we will discuss this diagram. See, as we have discussed, outwash plain, Isker, terminal mooring, drumlin. Yes, here are also drumlins. Now, the recap with the diagram. Moorings. So they are long ridges of deposits of glacial till. Now, the terminal moraine. Yes, the terminal moraines are long ridge of debris deposited at the end of the glaciers. Then eskers, yes, esker, when glaciers melt, in summer, and the water flows on the surface of the ice or seeps down along the margins or even moves through holes in the ice. So these waters accumulate beneath the glacier and flow like streams in a channel beneath the ice. So such streams flow over the ground with ice forming its banks. So very coarse materials like boulders and blocks, along with some minor fractions of rock debris carried into this stream, settle in the valley of ice beneath the glacier, and after the ice melts can be found as a sceneous ridge called esker. Now outwash plains, already we have discussed. See this outwash plains. Now, this outwash plains the plains at the foot of the glacial mountains or beyond the limits of continental ice. Yes, the continental ice sheets which are covered with glacial fluvial deposits in the form of broad flat alluvial fans which may join to form outwash plains of gravel, silt, sand and clay. Now, drumlins also we have discussed. So drumlins are smooth oval shaped ridges. Yes, oval shaped ridge like features composed mainly of glacial till with some masses of gravel and sand. The long axis of drumlins are parallel to the direction of ice movement. Now, drumlins give an indication of direction of glacial movement. Now, next we will discuss about the waves and currents. So, now waves and currents we will discuss. So friends, the coastal processes are the most dynamic and hence most destructive. So, don't you think it is important to know about the coastal processes and forms? Now, some of the changes along the coast take place very fast. Now, some of the changes along the coast take place very fast. At one place, there can be erosion in one season and deposition in another. So most of the changes along the coast which are accomplished by waves, when these waves break the water is thrown with great force onto the shore, and simultaneously there is great churning of sediments on the sea bottom. Now the water is thrown with great force onto the shore, and simultaneously there is great churning of sediments on the sea bottom. Now constant impact of breaking waves drastically affects the coast. Now strong waves and tsunami waves can cause far-reaching changes in a short period of time than normal breaking waves. As wave environment changes, the intensity of the force of breaking waves changes. Yes. So, other than the action of waves, the coastal landforms which depend on the configuration of land and the sea floor, whether the coast is advancing seaward or retreating landward. Now, assuming sea level to be constant, so two types of coasts are considered to explain the concept of evolution of coastal landforms. One is, yes, the high rocky coasts So, there are two types of coasts are considered to explain the concept of evolution of coastal landforms. One is high rocky coasts, and second one low smooth and gently sloping sedimentary coasts, that is immersed coasts. Now, these low, smooth, gently sloping sedimentary coasts. Now friends, in the next part we will discuss about the high rocky coasts and low sedimentary coasts. And then we'll continue with the erosional landforms. Now dear friends, in this fundamentals of physical geography, we are covering page by page class 11th NCERT. Now, let's cover our basic concepts. Now dear friends, the core subject where we are covering the topics related to geography, those aspirants are planning to appear for preliminary examination this year, they should solve the multiple choice questions, as we are providing free test series for all aspirants. The link is provided in the description box. Now, in next session we will cover the remaining topics. So friends, do not forget to join our new batches. We have started 1 year and 2 year batches. So as per your convenience, you can join these batches. Along with that, Unacademy is providing you special price and additional 10% discount from 13 to 17 September. So friends, enroll yourself before the price hike on UPSC CSE subscriptions. Do not forget to enroll yourself for Mega Combat, which is scheduled on 19 September morning 11 am, where you will get amazing prizes and scholarships. So that's it for today's marathon session. See you in the next lecture with remaining topics. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe Unacademy videos. See you in the next class. Till the time, keep studying, keep revising. Stay home, stay safe. Get vaccinated